Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick review of something I found that is I absolutely love it. So here we got the VelociRAX Tilt Pivot. I was looking for, as you can see, I got lots of bikes, right? Like I've got 3 bikes for myself. My wife got 2. I got hold on to my brother's bike. My kids have some bikes. I have an extra bike as my kids get older that no one's using today. So we got lots of bikes, and I was used to just hang them on these wood studs, right, with the little hooks. And kids just would not hang their bikes up. Super frustrating. So I started looking into what is the best solution to hang bikes. And you run into the typical steady rack where you can pivot, which is cool because you can pivot them out of the way. But they were really expensive. Each one was I can't even remember, $180 or something. And I thought that's just silly for rotating, so I didn't like that. I was also looking at maybe doing a ceiling mount where I could hoist them, but the hoisting ones are horrible. But I use my bikes every day and want to be able to get to them pretty fast. I thought, I like the idea of the steady rack concept, but I didn't like how I can't fit very many in. I thought what would be cool is you could have handlebars tilted but then pivot so I can fit more bikes tightly and then be able to rotate them out and get my bike out. So here's an example of it. So here's my bike, my favorite bike anyway. So I can tilt these bikes out of the way pretty easily. Then I can just grab my bike, 2 hands usually, just pull it right out, right? I can rotate my bike. I can grab my road bike here, pull it off. The other best part is if you have kids, my kids now hang their bikes up every time. This is the best thing I've seen. And it works incredibly. Install wasn't too bad. You kind of just screw the bottom on, the top on, into your studs anywhere you like. And then just kind of put these arms in. Be careful. I got real lucky with that socket. It barely fit over the top like that. So make sure to pre-plan this. Oh, the other thing to mention is my bike's kind of a pretty long enduro. This is a Pivot Firebird, 64-degree head tube angle, plus 29er. So that's a really long bike. So I can't remember exactly, but I took the recommendations, and I think I'm 2 inches above the recommended height. And I still barely fit. If you can see, there's not even really space down there. So I highly recommend making sure it fits your longest bike and you build it high enough, and then checking in the obstacles like that socket that you're not thinking about, and then build it at that height. I have a little gap here because the studs are different, but it doesn't matter. I have the same distance apart, so there's a lot of options for distance. If you see on the end, there's just extra space there. And I went with the recommended space apart, and it works great. I actually really like it. I could maybe space them out a little bit more, but it worked out on this right side because I've got all these tools so my bike can rotate. So you got to think about rotating them this way. There's space. Because I almost had a problem because first installed it here at the very end, I didn't have space for the bike's wheel that rotates. So you got to kind of consider that when you're installing it. Highly recommend this bike rack. Absolutely the best thing I've been able to find. Those that have lots of bikes, this is the best solution. Also not super expensive compared to other wall mounted options.